Hollywood celebrated Teyana Taylor with awards and opportunities. She received a Golden Globe, starred in a Ryan Murphy series, and even gained Oscar buzz. She got a studio deal, media attention, and a carefully managed public image that made her seem controlled and polished. But one thing Hollywood never gave her was full creative control. And according to Katt Williams, that's exactly what scares the industry the most. The moment Teyana stepped behind the camera and started making her own choices, she stopped being just a performer. She became a threat. Not because of what she has done in public, but because of what she has witnessed behind the scenes, and what she might reveal if she chooses to. In his latest Netflix special, Katt's warning is clear and unsettling. The industry isn't trying to erase Teyana because she's difficult. They're trying to erase her because she's dangerous. And there's a huge difference between those two ideas. To understand why that warning matters, you have to see just how rare and difficult Teyana's rise truly was. In Hollywood, most talent gets one path. You are either a singer or an actor, a performer, or a director. The system is designed to keep artists specialized, dependent, and returning to gatekeepers for every opportunity. Teyana refused to fit into any box, and she did it openly. She started as a teenager from Harlem, discovered by Pharrell, and choreographed for Beyoncé before most of her peers even decided on a college major. She then entered the most visible creative circles in hip-hop history. Signing with Kanye West's label at its peak didn't just mean a record deal. It meant being inside a complete ecosystem influencing music, fashion, film, and the hidden workings of the entertainment world. Teyana wasn't an outsider. She was in the rooms, watching deals being made, careers being built and torn down, while everyone assumed she was only focused on performing. But she was learning, remembering, and observing every detail, and that knowledge would later become the source of her power. Before her Golden Globe and before Ryan Murphy's attention, there was a moment when the industry almost silenced her. She went public on Instagram, announcing her retirement from music. Media outlets spun a simple story of creative differences, but the truth was more revealing. Teyana had asked her label, Def Jam, to release her at least 10 times, and each time, she was ignored. This wasn't a minor disagreement, it was a system refusing to let go of someone whose value they weren't finished exploiting. Katt Williams points to this moment as the first real sign of the industry's control. Her retirement wasn't a choice, it was a door being shut on her before she could open new ones. Eventually, she was released, but the pause damaged her momentum. Instead of disappearing, she pivoted to film, building something they couldn't control with contracts. That shift changed everything. By 2024, Katt Williams was naming names, revealing systems, and documenting structures that controlled talent in ways most people didn't see. Teyana Taylor's name now carries weight because she has been inside the same circles, seen the contracts, observed the rules, and lived the experience. The system that once tried to contain her is still in place, but she's no longer confined. She is free, aware, and, in many ways, unstoppable. Hollywood didn't suddenly decide that Teyana Taylor was a problem. They have been treating her like one for over 15 years. The so-called Blacklist isn't a recent development, it has existed quietly, behind the scenes, until now, when it became visible to the public. What makes Teyana's story different from every other artist who has pushed back against the system is the distinction between being in front of a camera and being behind one. Performers are carefully managed. Every detail of their image, their work, and their story is filtered through layers of people whose jobs and profits depend on keeping that talent productive and obedient. A performer is expected to follow the rules, deliver on schedule, and never step out of line. But a director operates in a completely different sphere. A director controls the story itself. They decide what gets included, what is left out, what perspective is highlighted, and what the audience ultimately sees. A director with full creative control has autonomy, the kind of freedom the performer track is specifically designed to prevent. Teyana Taylor's directorial debut, Get Light, is a perfect example of that power in action. Paramount Pictures is attached, and the film is rooted in the culture Teyana grew up in. It tells a story from a perspective that has never had this level of studio support, budget, or distribution deal before. On the surface, it's a milestone, a project that would normally be celebrated in press releases as breaking new ground. But according to Katt Williams, the people who approved it are terrified. Not because of the story itself, but because of who is directing it and what she is capable of including if she decides to stop being careful. This fear is understandable. Filmmakers have always used their work as a subtle way to communicate truths that cannot be spoken directly. They embed coded references, symbolic images, and hidden narratives for viewers who look closely enough. This tradition is especially strong in Black cinema, where challenging power openly has historically come with severe consequences. Directors say what needs to be said within the frame and trust the audience to understand. Yet, Get Light has hit unexpected delays. Its release timeline went quiet, and Paramount stopped promoting it publicly. In any other context, these pauses might be chalked up to normal development delays. But the way this silence aligns with other events raises questions. Around the same time, Teyana's relationship with Aaron Pierre quietly ended. The split was officially explained as scheduling conflicts and career tensions, a clean, familiar story. But the timing, just weeks after Katt Williams' revelations began gaining attention, seemed more than coincidental. The internet has not stopped speculating. Beneath all of this is a clear pattern. Hollywood has a documented system for neutralizing Black women the moment they gain enough power to become uncontrollable. First, rumors are planted: she's difficult, she's emotional, she's hard to work with. No incidents are cited, no named sources appear, just repetition until the public accepts it as fact. And Monique faced this after her Oscar win. Taraji P. Henson experienced it when she spoke openly about pay disparities. The details differ, but the mechanism is the same: identify the leverage point, shift the narrative onto the person, and wait for public interest to fade. Teyana's situation is different. According to Katt, she doesn't just seek fair pay or credit. She reportedly has detailed documentation of how deals are structured, who profits, what artists give up, and what the inner workings of those deals look like from the inside. That turns this from a story of managing a difficult artist into the story of controlling a witness. Films don't vanish on their own, footage can't erase itself, and a director who has spent 15 years observing, remembering, and documenting does not pick up a camera without a clear idea of what she wants to leave behind. Get Light has not been released, and its timeline remains silent. But Katt Williams continues to speak, and the audience following the story is paying attention. Hollywood's conspicuous quiet is louder than any press statement could ever be. The real question is not whether Teyana has the information; she almost certainly does. The real question is whether the industry can afford to discover what she might do with it. Based on everything that has unfolded over the past decade and a half, the answer is clear: they already know. The only problem is they cannot admit it. Teyana Taylor's story is not just about talent or fame. It's about power, knowledge, and the courage to challenge a system built to control her. She has seen how deals are made, how careers are manipulated, and how women like her are silenced. Now, as she moves behind the camera, she is no longer a participant in the story, she is the one writing it. And that is what Hollywood fears most.